He laughed when I showed up in torn shoes. But 10 years later, I drove past him in a Lamborghini. That laugh haunted me for years, but life has a funny way of turning tables. And when the tables turned, he didn't just stop laughing, he cried. My name is Emily Carter, and this story starts when I was 20 years old, living in a small town in Ohio. Back then, life wasn't kind. My mom cleaned houses, and I worked double shifts at a local diner to help pay the bills. College? That was a dream I couldn't afford, at least not yet. But I was ambitious. I had big plans to start my own business one day. And then there was Jake Reynolds. He was the popular guy, the kind of man every girl wanted. Tall, charming, and always surrounded by friends. Somehow he noticed me, or so I thought. We started talking, and for a while, it felt magical. He'd come to the diner, sit at the counter, and flash that perfect smile. My heart would race every time he said my name. For a brief moment, I believed someone saw by on my worn-out shoes and thrift store clothes. I believed he saw me. But oh, how wrong I was. It started small little comments. Wow, Emily's still riding the bus? That's cute, he smirked. Or when he'd ask, so when are you gonna get a real job? And his friends would chuckle. I tried to laugh it off, convincing myself he was just joking. But the jokes kept coming. One night, he invited me to a party. I borrowed a dress from a coworker and showed up nervous but excited. The moment I walked in, I saw him across the room. He looked at me, then at his friends, and whispered something that made them all burst out laughing. Later, I overheard him say to a group of guys, "Emily? Please, she's cute, but she's broke. I'm not dating a charity case." Those words, they broke something inside me. The worst part? He wasn't done. The next day at the diner, his friends came in and left a $1 tip on a $50 bill, saying, "Buy yourself something nice, Emily." And Jake? He laughed louder than all of them. I went home that night and cried harder than ever before. Not just because he humiliated me, but because I let myself believe I wasn't enough. That night, I made a promise. One day, I'd build a life so big, they'd choke on their laughter. Fast forward 10 years later, I worked 3 jobs, took online courses, and saved every penny. I moved to New York, started a small digital marketing agency from my bedroom, and guess what? It exploded. By 29, I had offices in 3 states, clients all over the world, and a net worth I never imagined. One day, I walked into a luxury hotel for a business conference, and there he was. Jake. He looked older, tired. And guess what? He was wearing a name tag that read, "Sales Associate." He froze when he saw me. I was in a designer suit, heels that clicked with power, and a platinum card key for the penthouse suite. "Emily?" he stammered. I smiled. "Jake," still laughing. His jaw dropped as he glanced at my assistant, who carried my briefcase. And when the hotel manager came over and said, "Miss Carter, your car is ready," and pointed to a Lamborghini Urus, Jake's eyes filled with tears. He asked if we could catch up sometime. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Sorry, Jake, I don't date charity cases." Then I walked away. That night, I stood on the balcony of my penthouse, city lights glowing below, and I smiled. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I kept my promise to myself. Life gave me pain, and I turned it into power. Never underestimate someone because of where they are today. The broke girl you laugh at could be the boss you cry for tomorrow. Subscribe to SilkMirror for more stories where betrayal meets poetic justice.